Hello, you guys. Today you are watching a video that goes over how you find the area of a regular polygon. So area means if you're given a shape, like let's say you're given a rectangle like this one right here. All right, so you're given a rectangle like this one here. Okay, and you're asked to find the area of that rectangle. The area would be this space here that's inside of this rectangle. All right, so that's basically what you're doing, but you're doing it with regular polygons. So let's start by defining a polygon. So polygon is a shape, any shape is essentially a polygon as long as all the sides are connected. So a triangle like this would not be a polygon because this side does not connect to this one. But a triangle here, where all three sides are connected, would be an example of a polygon. A regular polygon is defined as a polygon with all sides and angles congruent. So that means all the sides and all the angles inside of that polygon will be congruent to each other. Now, a polygon will have what we call a radius. So the radius of a polygon is a length from from a vertex to the center. And all the word vertex here means is it's from a point. So it's the length from one of the points on the polygon to the center. A central angle is the angle created at the center. And you find that by taking 360 divided by the number of sides. And then final word here is what we call the apothem or the apothem. So you may hear it both ways. Apothem or apothem is going to be the length from the center to the side. So if you guys look down here at these two polygons here, this polygon has 5 sides. So I would say n equals 5. N would represent the number of sides. You have a corner here that I'm going to connect to a center point. So this would be a radius. And then if I connect this corner, I'm gonna redraw that, guys. That is not that did not come out looking very well. But if I connect this corner here to the same center here, I have another radius. This angle here would be the central angle. So if I took 360 and I divided it by 5, that would tell me that my central angle is equal to, so let's go ahead and open up our calculator. I would type in 360 divided by 5. So that would tell me my central angle for this particular polygon is 72 degrees. Okay. Then if I go into this polygon here and I go from the center and I go down here to the side, this blue length here is called my apothem. And I want you to notice when you draw that apothem in, you cut that in half. And what happens is you create what I refer to as the hidden right triangle. So this hidden right triangle is half of this. So you would end up using this half here. So that angle would be half of 72, which is 36 degrees. And then this would be your A. So that's kind of what we use to do this, which is why this is going to utilize some trigonometry. All right, I'm going to show you the exact same process here now with this particular polygon, which has 6 sides. So I'll say n equals 6. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw a radius, and then I will connect it to another corner. So I have 2 radius that connect, to form a triangle, and it creates this central angle. So my central angle here is equal to 360 divided by 6, which would be 60 degrees. Then I drop down from the center down here to the side this apothem, which we will label as A. And when I do that, I end up creating this hidden right triangle inside of my polygon, where I end up using half of that angle. So I end up using this angle as 30 degrees, because if the whole thing was 60, I'm only using half of it. Half of 60 is 30. All right, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be finding area. So your area formula is taking 1/2 A times N times S. A stands for that apothem. N stands for the number of sides. And S is the side length. So you need to have these 3 things in order for you to solve for the area. And a good chunk of the time, one of these 3 is missing. Okay, sometimes 2. You will always know the number of sides, because if you don't know the number of sides, you can't find the area. So you may be missing the apothem or the side length, and you will have to find that information before you can go to the area. So that's what we're going to do. So on the next slide here, what I would do is I would take a second and I would pause the video here and write these steps down in your notes. And then when you're done, hit play so you can hear me explain it, and then we'll do these 2 problems. All right, so you pause the video, you've written your 5 steps down. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to explain your steps, each step. The first step you do is you take 360 divided by N so you can find that central angle. Then you take that central angle and you cut it in half. And you use that to set up the right triangle that's inside the polygon. When you set up that triangle, you don't want to forget to take half of your side. You use Sohcahtoa to find your apothem, and then you're ready to find area. This is your steps that you use to find area when you are given a side length. So this is what you do again when you are given a side length. All right, we will be giving you these steps when you take your quiz and your test over area of regular polygons. Okay, so you just got to make sure you follow the steps. All right, so here we're going to go to part A. For the first one here, I'm going to take 360 and divide it by my number of sides. Well, I have 6 sides here, so that gives me 60 degrees. So then step 2, I'll take 60 degrees and cut it in half, and I will get 30. So now for step 3, I'm going to set up my triangle. So I'm going to go inside my polygon right here. Okay, I am going to drop that apothem down. That's what I'm trying to find. I'm going to connect the center here out here to the corner to make a radius. And this is where my triangle comes from. It's a lot easier to use this triangle, though, when you bring it outside of the diagram. So my apothem will go here. This angle is going to be the 30 degrees that I got from step 2. And then this is our side here. Notice the whole side from here to here was 4. But I am only using half of that. So I'm going to put 2 down here. So that's what it says here. Don't forget to take half of your side here. All right, so step 4, we are going to use Sohcahtoa. So I'm going to go ahead and take that right triangle that I've drawn, and I am going to label my hypotenuse. Across from my angle here is the opposite, and then the third side's the adjacent. Let's circle the side we know and the side we're finding. I circled O and A. That makes this a tangent problem, so I'm using tangent of 30 equals 2 over A. Well, our variable is on bottom, which means we are going to divide. 2 divided by tangent of 30. So A is equal to, 2 divided by tangent 30 gives you an answer of 3.5. Now I am going to write 3.5 here, but I am going to save this value in my calculator. All right, so let's look at what we have. We have A is 3.5. Our N is 6, and our side length was 4. So for step 5, when I am ready to find area here, I'm going to take this value, and this value, and plug it into my area formula. So area equals 1/2 the 3.5 times 6 times 4. Okay, so I'm going to take 1/2 times, I'm going to hit second answer here because it's going to copy and paste what was in. Basically, it's the copy and paste function for the calculator. It's going to take that value that's already plugged in my calculator, and it's going to just copy it down. And I'm going to hit times 6 times 4. And you hit enter, and you get 41.56. So we're going to make that 41.6. And that's your area, 41.6. All right, so for part B, I want you guys to pause the video here and try to find the area of part B on your own. And then when you're done, I want you to hit pause and see how you did. All right, so for part B, you are trying to find the area. Notice our apothem, we don't know. That's our question mark here. N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So N is 8, and S is equal to 8. So we have 8 sides and a side length of 8. So we are going to find the area when we are given a side length. So step 1, you're going to find your central angle. So 360 divided by 8. Go to the calculator and type that in. 360 divided by 8 gives you 45. Now you're going to take 45 and divide that by 2, and you'll get 22.5. So step 3, you want to figure out what that right triangle is going to be. So we're going to drop down into the picture here, drop that apothem. Notice that triangle is only using half of the side. So when I draw that triangle over here, here's my apothem. The side was 8, so I'm going to use 4 down here. This angle is going to be 22.5. Step 4, I'm going to use trig, so we're going to do some Sohcahtoa. So let's label our 3 sides so we can figure out what trig we're going to use. Across the right angle is the hypotenuse. Across from the 22.5 is the opposite. Third side is the adjacent. Circle the side you know and the side you're finding, and that's a TOA problem. So we're using tangent again. Tangent of 22.5 equals 4 over A. A is on bottom again, which means we are going to divide. 4 divided by tangent of 22.5. So let's see what we get. All right, we close our parentheses, hit enter. You get 9.656854249. Okay, keep that number in your calculator now, because when you go to find your area, which is step 5, you're going to plug this into the area formula. So area is 1/2 that big decimal. I'm going to write it as 9.7 here. Your N is 8 and your side length is 8. So you're just going to plug all that into your calculator. So 1/2 times, I'm going to hit second answer here to copy and paste what was already in my calculator, times 8 times 8. And when I do that, I get 309.01. So I'm just going to make this 309.0. Or just 309. All right, now we are going to move on here to the next scenario. So scenario number 2 is finding area when you are given the apothem. So go ahead and pause the video for a second and write your 6 steps down. And then when you hit play, I'll talk about the steps and then we'll do an example. All right, so you just paused the video, you wrote your 6 steps down. Notice the first 3 steps are the same. Central angle, then you divide the central angle by 2, and then you set up the right triangle. The 4th step is you use Sohcahtoa to find the missing side of the triangle. But that missing side you're finding is only going to be half of the side length. So then step 5, you're going to multiply that answer by 2. And then step 6, you're ready for area. So it's one additional step. So we're going to start with this first one here. Notice this time I know the apothem is 10.5. Okay, they gave me that length. The number of sides is 5, but the side length is my unknown. I don't know how many, I know how many sides it has, but I don't know what the length of each of those sides is. So step 1, I'm going to find my central angle. 360 divided by 5 gives me 72. Step 2, I'm going to cut that in half. 72 divided by 2, that would be 36. So step 3, we want to set up the triangle. So if you go into your picture here, if you just connect the center here to a corner, you create the radius. Notice that there's that right triangle. So here, I'm going to call it X is what we need to find. All right, so I'm going to put this triangle down here. The up and down length is my apothem, 10.5. X is the bottom length here. This corner angle is where the 36 degrees is going to go. Now when I do step 4, I am going to do Sohcahtoa. So label your triangle here. So across the right angle is the hypotenuse. Across from the 36 is the opposite. Third side's the adjacent. Circle the sides you know and the side you're finding. O and A makes that tangent. So we're going to do tangent 36 is equal to x over 10.5. X is on top, so this is where we multiply. 10.5 times tangent of 36 is equal to x. So let's hop to the calculator. So 10.5 times tangent 36. Close your parentheses, hit enter. You get 7.628696544. Hang on to that decimal. Don't round it just yet, because in step 5, you are going to now take that value and you're going to multiply it by 2. So you're going to take 2 times 7.628696544. Right? So all you need to do in your calculator is go times 2. Again, the reason is what you just found is this half here. Okay? That's all you found. You found the half, this half of the side. So right here is all you found. Okay? You want the whole side. So you went from one corner to the other. So you need to double that number once you find it. And you get 15.25739,309. All right, so now you've got that whole side length. So now you are ready for area. So step 6, you're going to plug all that in. So area equals 1/2 10.5 times 5 times 15.25739,309. So I'm just going to take 1/2 times 10.5 times 5 times, and I'm going to hit second answer here so it can take what I had previously typed in, and basically it's like the copy and paste feature, and you get 400.5. And that's your area there. All right, go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do the second one on your own, and then when you're done, hit play and let's see how you did. All right, for the second one here, you have an apothem of 2.5. Your number of sides here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 sides, and S is unknown. We do not know how many sides we've got. Or we know how many sides we got, we don't know what the side length is. Okay, so step 1, let's find that central angle. So I'm going to take 360 divided by 9. And you should get 40 here. Step 2, take 40 divided by 2, and you should get 20 there. Step 3, you want to create your triangle. So if you draw it inside here, you connect from one corner to the other. You can kind of see what that triangle should look like. So you have your 2.5 here. Your X will go down here, and then this angle here will be the 20 degrees. All right, step 4, you're going to look at Sohcahtoa. So label your triangles 3 sides here. So across the right angle is the hypotenuse. Across the 20 degrees is the opposite. The third side's the adjacent. The side you know and the side you're finding, you circled O and A, you're using tangent. So tangent of 20 degrees equals X over 2.5. So multiply here. So 2.5 times tangent 20 gives you 0.90992558557. So then for step 5, you are going to take that number and you are going to multiply that number by 2. So in your calculator, hit times 2. You get 1.81985171. So that is your side length right up here. So 1.819 blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hang on to that decimal in your calculator, and now you're ready for area. So you're going to take 1/2, the 2.5, the 9, and that 1.819, blah, blah, blah. Okay? All that is going to give you your area. So let's do this. 1 divided by 2 times 2.5 times 9 times, I'm going to hit second answer here, hit enter, and I get 20.5. And then 20.5 is your area, so that'd be your final answer. All right, last slide is finding the area when you are given the radius. So go ahead and pause the video and write your steps down, and then when you're done, hit play, and then we will go through these examples. All right, so you've got your steps written down. I'm going to explain really quick, and then we'll go through these problems. So step 1, central angle, 360 divided by n. Step 2, divide that central angle by 2. Step 3, set up your right triangle. Step 4, you're going to find your apothem using Sohcahtoa. Step 5, you're going to find your missing side using Sohcahtoa, and just remember, multiply that answer by 2. And then step 6, you're ready for finding the area. So when you're given the radius, guys, you have 2 missing parts of the formula. So you are missing the apothem here. You will know the number of sides, but you're also missing the side length. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. So n equals 7 on this one. All right. Step 1, I'm going to take 360 and divide it by 7. And I'm going to tell you guys, you are not going to get a pretty number on this for the central angle here. It's just the way 7 works. So you get 51.42857, blah, blah, blah. So in step 2, I want you to take that. I'm going to use CA for central angle and divide it by 2. So my calculator, I'm just going to hit divide by 2. All right. So you get 25.7142857. All right, step 3, let's set up our right triangle. So if you connect your radius here, drop that down, there's your apothem, there's your x value, that's where your central angle will go. All right, so 5 goes here. My central angle of 25.71428.571 will go here. A is here, X is here. All right, we're going to do trig on this one, but again, you're going to do trig not once, you're going to end up doing trig twice. So step 4 and 5 are both Sohcahtoa steps. We're only on step 4 though, so I'm not trying to get too ahead here. All right, across the right angle is the hypotenuse. Across from the central angle is the opposite, and then the third side is the adjacent. Let's find the apothem first. So that's A. A and H makes this a cosine problem. So I'm going to do cosine of this angle here. Equals A over 5. Since A is on top, sorry guys, you couldn't see me writing that. Since A is on top, you're going to multiply. So I'm going to do 5 times cosine of that angle equals A. So here's how I'm going to type this in the calculator. I'm going to do 5 times cosine. I don't want to use the rounded angle here, so I am going to type this whole thing in, and I know it's kind of a pain, but I want the most accurate answer I can possibly get. So A here is 4.5. So now for our next step, we are going to use the same triangle from number 3, but now we're going to use the hypotenuse and the opposite. So in step 5, it becomes a sine problem. So I'm going to do sine of 25.71428.571 equals x over 5. X is on top, so I end up multiplying by this whole angle here. So in the calculator, I'll do 5 times the sine of 25.71428.571. Okay, hit enter. You get 2.1694 blah, blah, blah. But then again, don't forget to multiply that answer by 2. When you're finding the side in step 5, you always want to double your answer. So you get 4.3. So your side length here is 4.3. So now you're ready for area. So step 6, you're going to take 1/2 4.5 times 7 times 4.3. And if you guys want, if it's quicker, you can type in 1/2 as 0.5. So my area comes out to 67.7. All right, most of the time the angle measures you guys have are nice whole numbers, so you don't have those giant decimals that you have to keep saving. All right, go ahead, hit pause, you guys, and try this last one on your own, and then when you're done, hit play and see how you did. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and erase this little chunk down here from the previous problem only because I need the space, but you guys have it written down, so you should be able to see it if you need to look back. All right, apothem, unknown. Number of sides here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So n equals 8. Side length, unknown. So you've got 2 pieces of missing information you need in order to find the area. All right, so step 1, central angle. 360 divided by 8 gives you 45. Step 2, cut that in half. You get 22.5. Step 3, let's form that triangle. So I like to do this inside the polygon before I do it outside because it makes it easier. So Apothem would go here, X would go here. The central angle would be this top angle here. So A here, X here, 14 here. This angle is 22.5. All right, in step 4, we need to Sohcahtoa to find the Apothem. So the Apothem is your A. You want to find A first. So let's label. Cross the right angle, hypotenuse. Cross from 22.5, opposite. Third side, the adjacent. I'm finding A. I know 14. I'm using cosine. Cosine of 22.5 is equal to A over 14. That means I'm going to multiply because A is on top. So calculator here, 14 cosine of 22.5, hit enter, and I get 12.9. So A is 12.9. All right, now we're going to find S, so we're going to do Sohcahtoa again. So that's step 5. So I'm going to use opposite in the hypotenuse, which is sine. So I'm going to do sine of 22.5 equals x over 14. All right, so we're going to end up multiplying again. So this is 14 times the sine of 22.5. Hit enter. You get 5.35, blah, blah, blah. Well, now you want to make sure you don't forget to multiply by 2. So this will be 10.7. So then your final step here, step 6, which I'll put up here, you're ready for area. Take 1/2 the 12.9 times 8 times 10.7. So I'll go to the calculator. I'll do 1 divided by 2 times 10 or 12.9 times 8 times 10.7. Hit enter. My area is 552.1. And that would be my final answer. All right. So this is the end of your area of regular polygon video. If you have questions, please ask and let me know, and we will go over a few more problems in class. All right, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.